Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Karapetkova, or Dr. K for short. I'm going to be walking you through a short workshop today to help you start thinking about your research plan for Project 3. It assumes that you already have thought a little bit about a topic. And those of you who were in class with me the Friday before spring break, we did think about topics and we did a little writing based on a topic. But if you don't have a topic yet, that's okay. There will be a chance for you to pause the recording and to start thinking about your topic. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. You can see the Prezi we'll be working with today. And before we get started, I just want to give you a little note about how this video is going to work. It's going to ask you to pause for a certain amount of time and places to allow you to think and consider the questions I'm asking you. Feel free to pause the video in additional places if you need to, but I ask you to resist the temptation to fast forward or move too quickly. Please take the allotted amount of time that I tell you, usually about 5 minutes, to complete the writing. The pauses are meant to force you to think more deeply about your topic, and if you finish a prompt quickly, try to challenge yourself to think more deeply, to dig deeper in your topic and add more to your answer. All of the work that we're doing today is going to pertain to both Project 3 and Project 4. So the writing you do today is stuff that you might be able to use in one of these projects. So the more time you spend with this, the more valuable it's going to be for you in the future. I recommend that you complete this all in one go, so you don't lose your train of thought. It should probably take about a half an hour, and you're going to be posting your plan to Canvas that you complete for feedback from your professor. You can do it on a computer or on paper. If you decide to write it on paper, that's fine. You're just going to take a picture of what you wrote to post to Canvas. So before we get started, I wanted to review the topics that we came up with as a class before spring break. And I wanted to go through all of these with you just in case either you're not really excited about the topic that you came up with, or there might be something really interesting in this list that is more exciting to you than the topic that you came up with. And if you don't have a topic or weren't in class before spring break, then this list might also be really helpful for you. Okay, so here's the first group of topics: racial profiling, gang violence, politics of immigration reform, government corruption related to immigration, the process of green card application, ICE, immigration court injustice, child labor and rights, education of illegal immigrants, education about immigration, assimilation, SIJ status, border and border patrol, alien, the linguistic and social context of the word alien, pros and cons of being a resident alien, detention centers, preventing the root causes of migration, immigration cruelty, so policies or enforcement, family ties and immigration, the deportation process, justice for illegal immigrants in the legal system, immigration, we put this here in case people think of other themes related to immigration that they're excited about, violence at the border, benefits of undocumented people to the economy or society, the wall, policies regarding refuge and asylum, language learning and assimilation. And here's the final group: DACA, health or healthcare of illegal immigrants, nutrition and dehydration crossing the border, illnesses faced in crossing the border, health, nutrition, or illness in detention centers, the ICE box, refugee camps at the US-Mexico border, death and disappearances among border crossers, human trafficking, how immigration impacts US elections, how illegal immigration impacts businesses, the political rhetoric surrounding immigration, psychology and trauma in child immigrants. So if you have your topic at this point, I'd like you to go ahead and write it down now. If you didn't have a topic, coming into this workshop, or if you weren't really happy about your topic and you found a new one that you'd rather work with, then I'd like for you to do the writing that we did the class period before spring break. And we wrote about what we already knew about the topic based on both the book and our own knowledge. And we wrote about what we're curious about, what we want to find out in our research process. So if you are working with a new topic and haven't done this writing yet, then I'd like you to pause this video and write for at least 5 minutes. So once you have your topic and you've had a chance to think about it a little bit, we're going to be spending our makeup period for this class. Since we're not together, we're doing a virtual class. We're going to be spending this period, most of it, putting together a plan so that when we do approach our research with our librarian, we're going to be able to make the most of that time and really do the best job possible with our research. It's important to keep in mind that your focus might change depending on the kinds of research sources you find on your topic. So we're going to have to be flexible going into the research plan, but it's really valuable for us to think through ahead of time an appropriate plan. So the first thing that I want you to start thinking about is a more specific focus. Some of the topics we came up with are really broad, so we're really going to have to narrow those down. So I'd like for you to write for 5 minutes, how can your broad topic be broken down? What smaller topics are contained here? Brainstorm as many possibilities as you can, but you need to come up with at least 5 ways to break your topic down. You could think about a specific group of people, a specific geographical location, a specific segment or aspect of your topic. For example, if you're focusing on racial profiling, you could focus on a specific group of people who are often profiled. You could focus on the policies surrounding profiling. You could focus on the physical impact of profiling or the psychological impact of profiling or the legal impact, right? Just think as many different ways as you possibly can about breaking your topic down. You could also break it down in terms of geographical location, gender, age group. You could think about the causes of profiling or the solutions to the problem of profiling. So pause now for 5 minutes, time yourself for 5 minutes, and I want you to give yourself at least that amount of time. You can take more if you need to brainstorm how to break your topic down. So now that you've brainstormed some ways to focus your topic a little bit more, I'd like for you to choose 2 of those topics that you're really interested in. And I want you to start to think in terms of questions. You may have had some experience with this in 101 or in your Discover course. We're going to think in terms of inquiry and questions we'd like to find out about our topics. So what questions did the book raise for you about these 2 narrowed focus topics? What questions do you have based on your own knowledge of the topics? Can you use any of your questions to narrow your focus even further? And I'd like for you to come up with at least 5 questions about each of your 2 narrowed topics. So you're going to pause now and write. It should take you at least 5 minutes to do this exercise. Okay, at this point, you may realize that one of your narrowed topics is better than the other. You can focus on that one. You're also welcome to keep both on hand. You can try researching both and see if the research process helps you clarify which topic makes more sense for you. What I want us to do now is to think about a backup plan. So for example, what's going to happen if you go to the library and you find out your topic is way too broad? You find 2,000 resources on your topic. List some possible alternative questions you might ask to narrow or broaden your topic. And remember some of those ways that we were talking about earlier to narrow your topic. Think about geographical location. Think about a particular group of people. Think about any aspect connected to your topic, causes versus solutions, right? Any way that you could possibly narrow your topic. Then, on the other hand, I also want you to think about what happens if your topic is too narrow. What's going to happen if you start researching your topic and you just don't find anything, or you don't find the appropriate kinds of sources? So I'd like you to come up with at least 2 different approaches that are going to help you narrow your topic, and at least 2 different approaches that are going to help you broaden it. So go ahead and right now, this should take you about 3 minutes, and it can take more if you need it to, come up with at least 2 ways to broaden your topic and at least 2 ways to narrow it. So the final part of our process is to start thinking about search terms. And when we go and do our search in the library, you all may remember from 101, we don't search the same way that we do in Google. So we don't just put in a long stream of words. We actually have to have individual search terms that we want to use to tell the library databases what we're looking for. So for example, if your topic is the trauma of child migrants, some of your search terms might include trauma, treatment, child immigrants. But if you you don't know what terms the computer is going to be picking up on, so I'd like for you to also come up with synonyms for all the different search terms that you plan to search. So in place of trauma, for example, you might try PTSD or stress. In place of treatment, you might try recovery, medication, therapy, remediation, diagnosis. And then in addition to child immigrants, you might come up with a term like unaccompanied minor or child migrants. And you could also try, if you want to broaden your search, you could try something like intergenerational trauma or communal trauma if you wanted to sort of take it in another direction. So what I want you to do right now is come up with at least 5 keywords that you could search in relation to your topic. So 5 separate keywords. And then I want you to come up with at least 3 synonyms or rephrasings or resituatings for each of your keywords. You can use a thesaurus if you need to, and this should take you at least 5 minutes. You basically need to come up with 15 separate terms that you could possibly put into the library database to start your search. So go ahead and take 5 minutes more if you need it. Right now, pause this video, and 5 keywords and at least 3 synonyms for each of those keywords. So the final step of this process is to post your research plan on Canvas so your professor can review it and make comments to help you adjust your topic as needed. You're going to need to make sure you have a copy of your plan handy when you begin your research next class. So make sure you have this plan on hand, you know where it is, and make sure you get some feedback from your professor. Thank you very much for listening with me today. Good luck with your research plan, and remember to keep in touch with your faculty member if you have any questions about this at all.